friends, welcome to Danielle Gen X. Thank you for checking out the channel. Today we're going to start with a true story. So in my 2024 Bloom Vision Planner, I'll link it below because it's cute, there's a section to list your 2024 bucket items. And for other people, it's probably like, I don't know, climb a mountain or go to Argentina. For me, it was clean out my basement because my basement was nasty. It's used mostly for storage and things had just built up, and it was sort of just kind of one of those burdens lurking behind a door that I really wanted to take care of. So in early January, I woke up and I heard a clanking sound. And initially I thought maybe one of my 4 cats had gotten stuck in a room or in a cupboard or in a closet or somewhere like they do. Went around, didn't find any cats anywhere they shouldn't be. And then I opened the basement door and there was a foot of standing water. So I put on my Salmon Sisters boots. These are not sponsored, they're just cute as hell and I get compliments every time I wear them. And I ventured down into the basement. And fortunately, with the boots pulled all the way up, no cute octopi showing, there was about maybe 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch from the top of the water to the top of my boot, so the water didn't spill in, which thank God, I think I just would have laid down and died there if it had. And I slowly waded my way over to the sump pump and discovered it was not on. So we'd had a bad windstorm a few nights prior, and what happened was when the power went out, it shorted the outlet that the sump pump was on, and when the power came back on, the sump pump did not come back on. And I wasn't able to get that outlet going. I hit that GFCI I don't know how many times, but it's still not going. But I did manage to get it plugged into a different outlet, and by late afternoon, most of the water was drained out. But everything in the basement was a complete loss. My next instinct was to contact my oldest child, who's local. They've asked that I refer to them as O on the channels to maintain their privacy. So I called O and asked if they could come over with their strong friends to load all the crap out of the basement and to the truck to take down to the dump this weekend. And they wisely pointed out I have insurance. So while I called the insurance company, they went through the reviews and found a reputable local remediation company and put them in touch with me. Thank God, because I wasn't in any mood to start calling out and finding those things on my own. Within a few days, my basement was cleaned out, dry, and treated with fungicide. USAA, and if you are eligible for USAA and don't have it, it seriously is worth it. USAA cut a check for the remediation costs within the week and ultimately compensated me well for my lost belongings. There were some sentimental items that it's a little heartbreaking to have lost, but overall, most of the items down there were things that I should have gotten rid of ages ago. In the end, I was able to clean off that basement off of my 2024 bucket list. I was able to compensate a local company for their fantastic service, and I was able to apply the check for my losses toward my PLUS loan. If you know, you know on that one. While the whole experience was definitely traumatic, and I hope I don't have to do anything like that again anytime soon, adding that I hate having people in my house and having strangers carry my ruined belongings through my living room for multiple days was taxing. The net experience was overall positive, and my 19-year-old Zoe ultimately proclaimed Dubzonly for 2024, and my mantra for 2024 was born. What is Dubzonly? It might be time for a Generation X translation break. Dubs is short for W's. W's equals wins. Wins only for 2024. Framing my focus on the wins in every situation, even if the initial event sucks ass, helps train me to look for the positives and foster a growth mindset. I don't want to spend a lot of time defining growth mindset. Most of you are familiar with the concept. But for today's purposes, we are using setbacks as an opportunity for growth and failures as an opportunity to learn. I'm not talking about toxic positivity where you smile through the pain and say everything is great. What I want to do is acknowledge the setbacks, feel the feels briefly, and then analyze the situation so that you can move on having been better for it. I recently realized that I've conditioned myself to look for the negatives in every situation. If there was a conversation or a presentation, I was going to look for something to challenge. If there was a problem, I sure would point it out. If anybody wanted an honest opinion on something, they would come to me because they knew I didn't hold back and I had no filter. After doing a lot of reflection, I think what I realized is that I basically always had to fight to feel heard and feel valued. And that sent up a sense of perfectionism in myself and also expecting that perfection in others. In the first of what is likely many times that I will quote Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you look for the light, you can often find it. But if you look for the dark, that's all you'll ever see. Dubzonly is committed to seeing the light in every situation, the lesson, the growth, and getting better because of it. So my current cactus is at the office. I have a private office with a wall of windows, my own thermostat, and most importantly, my own door. Management has recently decided to redistribute the office spaces, and I am being moved into the main office in a cubicle diagonally facing a coworker. I have less control over the air temperature when I have a medical condition that makes it difficult for me to control my body temperature. I am unable to play music loudly through my speakers when I use music as a controlled distraction to manage my ADHD. I'm twice as far from the bathroom, where I need to go often because I have a kidney condition and drink tons of water and pee nonstop all day. I appealed the decision and I lost that appeal. I really like my job. I get to work with students, and I'm generally given the flexibility to transform systems to make things more fair and more efficient. I'm great at what I do, and I work with great people. That being said, this change would have destroyed the old Danielle. In addition to the myriad issues already discussed, such as being able to pee and not freezing, the insult of them pulling me from my private office that I worked for, that I earned, and putting me in a public cubicle caused my ego to combust, and I was absolutely enraged. Remember, we do get to feel the feels here. We aren't repressing, but there's a time limit. Feel it, acknowledge it, let it go, and move on. Evolving Danielle realized that the rage wasn't going to improve the situation. It was only going to make it much worse for myself and ultimately for my coworkers. I decided to embrace Uncle Iroh's light and look for the positives. I get the standing desk I've been asking for. I got permission to bring in a walking pad. I'm closer to the kitchen and to the water cooler. I get to keep using my favorite work blanket and my space heater. I can use my earbuds to listen to music, and I'm less isolated from my coworkers and from the general population. These are all wins. The ego is still a little bruised, but honestly, fuck that guy. The ego tells you who it thinks you should be. If you don't want to change or evolve, listen to your ego. Until I'm living on a private island with my personal sushi chef, my super serious long-term boyfriend, Pedro Pascal, getting daily massages and giving away tens of millions of dollars a year to disadvantaged communities for education and scholarship programs, then I haven't even reached my final form. My ego wants me to stay the same. It doesn't serve my growth. I don't listen to that guy anymore. My biggest wins so far this year haven't been standard accomplishments. They've been recognizing and celebrating my growth. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person that you were yesterday. And every day I'm letting shit go that would have wrecked me in the past. No matter how small the achievement is, it's growth, and you should be celebrating it. You are a badass and you are evolving. Even if you only improve by 1% every day, 1% compounded over the 365 days a year equals 37.8, or nearly 38 times the growth from where you started at the beginning of the year. Put that 1% in to make yourself better. Be 1% more grateful, more compassionate, more giving. This week's TLDR: look for the light, embrace change, your ego sucks, fuck that guy, celebrate your growth, work to improve yourself 1% every day, get USAA if you are eligible, and watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated series. Uncle Iroh is the GOAT. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.